Welcome, everybody, to the Awake and Sober podcast, a podcast about life and recovery through Christ.
Yeah, buddy.
We back.
Yeah.
We here.
I always look forward to podcast day.
I look forward to Wednesdays.
Yeah.
1, it's podcast. 2, it's pickleball.
Yeah.
3, it's my Friday.
Lucky.
But I'm working tomorrow. Gotta get there some time. Yeah. It's my Monday.
It's Monday for some
Yeah,
of
I
us.
heard you guys whining about that or on the one podcast that I was editing and that I wasn't a part of. I'm like,
Yeah.
Derek talking about how it's his Monday and
That's right.
It was your
It
Friday.
was my Friday.
yeah.
Jeremy's like, what? I got one more day. Yeah, you got one more day.
That's it. First of all, we want to give shout out to our sponsor,
Tactile turn.
Tactile Turn.
Yeah, I didn't bring a pen in with me, but I got the knife sitting in here.
Shane just puts up a knife. Hello.
You know, that always looks good on camera.
Yeah, we
buddy.
want to make sure you guys go check them out, tactileturn.com. They make incredible instruments.
Yeah.
Tools, pens, bags,
But the pen is a good tool.
flashlights.
Flashlights, yeah.
Pen is the most
Tactile
valuable
turn,
tool.
I think it's tactileturnknife.com for the knives.
Nice.
Not on the regular website, but the pens and the flashlights are on the same website. Need one of those flashlights. I just don't want to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
How price is a flashlight?
Like $350
For a flashlight?
for a flashlight.
Man,
But
it better be a big
cool flashlight.
I'm talking like the mag lights we used to carry when we worked on parking lots. Security, you know, like you hit somebody with that thing, they ain't going nowhere but down.
Yeah, you don't hit people with these. These are just really good color, clarity, and yeah, it's a different style of flashlight.
Check out the link on our bio.
Yeah, without a
Get
doubt.
there with the bio.
Without.
Also, we want to make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. We are on all podcast platforms. Give us a shout out. If you're on social media and you're seeing this, share it to your social media. We want to get the word out there. Wake and Sober Podcast. We're doing big things. We want to get out. So
Big things.
do some things for us.
So I have been told that our Valentine's Day special has been like the number one everybody's been checking out.
Yeah, I believe it.
Everybody's been checking out the Valentine's Day one.
It's like, guys, that was 2 months ago.
Right?
We have other ones.
Yeah, but we brought the women on.
We brought the women
It was
on.
brought the women on.
8
and
of
it
us.
was it was the urinal cake that everybody laughs about.
Oh.
Amy not knowing what a urinal cake was.
There was 8 of us in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
On a podcast. Man, that was crazy.
That was fun, though.
Actually, according
Good
to
time.
the word, there was only 4 of us because the time will come when a man and a woman will become one under God. So,
We'll call it 3.5. How about that?
oh yeah. Whoops.
3.5. Derek,
That's all right.
What's up, my brother?
I know you had to miss Celebrate Recovery last night because you're back, but how are you doing today? How is it with you and your soul?
My soul is good, no matter what it is it seems to be going through, man. We go through these phases at work, man. You know, we get a crowd of people, and it's just like, dude, why? You know, you want to really ask them, why are you even here? But you know what? I mean, we get it. They're there, and we know what we're there for. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, you know, I don't like hearing myself talk enough to sit there and talk to you guys. You won't listen. But
Fair.
at the same time, we had a big meeting in our first group today, which I really thought really did a big job. And somebody had stood up and shared that something I had shared with them has been helping them in their recovery. And hey, okay, I guess I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
So for the 12 that don't listen, there's the one that does.
That's all that matters,
That's
man.
it. It's all about that one.
It's about that one. Mm-hmm. At least we get to see some of the fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
sure.
it was something you had shared with me once before about recoveries. You get a 100% chance of making sobriety and recovery if you do 100% of the work.
Well, if you take 100% of the suggestions and you listen to your therapist, you'll be successful. 100% of those people will find recovery.
Right.
I said it.
And 100% of the people will fail that don't listen.
Yeah.
Right.
I told everybody today, too. I was like, y'all, it's easy. If you just do what you're told, just do it. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to like all of it. That's okay. Just do it and see what happens. You know, here's a question. Why not?
But I don't like to listen to other people.
But I think I know what's best.
I mean,
Why is this your third time here?
Yeah, right.
we just got done talking about that. I mean, that person just showed back up, and I don't want Derek as my therapist.
Yeah.
But
He's a great therapist, by the way, guys. Just throwing it out there.
well, usually when somebody don't want you, that means you've done something right.
You've done something right. Exactly. You made that person uncomfortable, and it looks like uncomfortable in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, to what's the word? Engage growth, and they didn't want to take the hook.
They didn't. They wanted me to sit there and do the whole coddle thing. Oh, everything's gonna be okay, but you gotta do this. That. Sorry, wrong guy. All right.
Yep.
Wrong one. I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah, that's part of being a true therapist in the recovery field.
Kobe called me a tool.
He did call you a tool. He thought you were. He didn't like me. He thought I was a butthole.
But you are. There's a difference.
What are you gonna do? You know, you can't win them all.
Kobe knows it's all right.
Kobe's like,
Did
this
you ask
guy's
what
a
kind of
tool.
tool you are?
No, he just said I was a tool.
He basically went around like the whole staff and said how he wasn't gonna like everyone. But then what happened once he started, getting involved? It was great. But yeah, he did call you a tool.
We had a very interesting morning. Things that were trying to change things a little tighter around the place we work, and so
Yeah.
I'm hoping hope everybody stands behind what was shared and what was done
Yeah.
really today, because I liked it. And I am so ready to start putting my foot and sending them on their way if they're not going to go to groups, man.
I agree. Mikey,
Hi.
how is it with your soul, brother?
It's great.
Soul brother.
I'm good. No.
Jeremy.
I was giving a Jeremy answer. I'm good.
He's on break until August.
I'm good. Yeah, Jeremy, we miss you already.
Yeah, buddy.
Don't be afraid to call in. We love you. We'll see you soon. My soul is replenished. I needed last night. I didn't go last week. I had a migraine. Had some personal problems going on. So I said, I don't want to do it. So I didn't do it. And then I went last night. Got really honest with myself. Got really honest with some men. And yeah, man.
Did you get on stage last night?
No, I didn't. No.
We'll work on that.
But we had a new guy in our small group, and he shared for a little while, and that I loved hearing Norman talk. It was cool,
Yeah, I love it when newcomers speak up.
dude. It was great. It was fantastic. And then he shared all of this stuff, and then it just got me thinking. I struggle. My big thing right now is codependency, like trying to control everything, and not honestly, man, just not listening. Or not recognizing the signs,
Yeah.
and trying to impose my will instead of listening to God's will.
It's a tough one to get obedient to.
It's so tough. But you know what? That's what practice is for.
Yeah. The worship wrecked me last night, and I'm the one that chose all the songs.
You did choose the songs.
You know?
You got him on stage. He goes, I just got wrecked by 2 songs in a row. Anybody else
What'd you
feel that?
play?
Raise a Hallelujah got me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Gratitude, of course.
Yeah,
Gratitude wrecked me a few months ago. That was the song that really, when my bipolar was out of control and I wasn't going to the doctor and things were just crashing around me, Gratitude is the thing that kind of brought me and grounded me again and wrecked me that Sunday. And it just continues to wreck me every time I play it. But I had to play it last night.
I never heard it before. It was beautiful. Beautiful song.
I have nothing else fit for a king. And it's like, man, I come to you empty-handed because nothing I have would be worthy anyway. So, yeah, it was good to have you. It was good to have you last night. We're going to have you share your testimony there, and we'll put them on stage and let them teach a lesson.
No, I'm just kidding. I think he needs to do a step study first.
Yeah, step studies are good.
Don't tell me what I do and do not need to do first.
I didn't say what you need to do. I've requested that you do.
I'll probably end up doing it.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. It's called taking suggestions.
Step study in the Celebrate Recovery world is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
You get together with, I don't know, anywhere between 4 to 12 men, or we had 20 on the one before COVID happened.
Oh, man.
We had 22 people in a step study. That would have been a nuts, that would have been just a crazy step study if COVID wouldn't happen. Because all of them were sticking around. That's what was neat about it. All of them were sticking. And to have 20 guys in a step study, but even if you have 4 or 5 guys in there, everybody getting vulnerable, honest, and yeah.
I started a step study with 13 people, and at the end of it, there was 3 of us.
See, but
finished.
that's going back to that fear.
Yeah.
of what the 4-step is. I think we give off the wrong idea of a 4-step, really.
Somebody said something about that today, and I said, I was talking about, we were talking about radical acceptance and, what that truly means. And my big thing is, accepting that there is not a single thing you can do about the past. All of your decisions have already been made, right? There's nothing you can do. You have to suffer the consequences of your actions, right?
You do.
And that's one of the biggest things that I had to come to terms with was I was that black cloud. Everything that ever happened to me bad was pretty much driven by substances and my ego and my pride thinking that, oh, somebody's out to get me. I had to accept the fact that I broke the damn law.
Yeah.
I have to suffer the consequences. I put myself in those situations. And then I asked these people, I was like, so why do we let the past dictate our present?
And our future.
And our future. And a couple of people said, I feel like people are comfortable in pain or they're addicted to the pain.
Well, we're comfortable in that chaos. We're comfortable in the pain because we know it. It's familiar.
Yeah.
And I understand that part, but also everybody makes such a big deal about this 4-step, man.
Mm-hmm.
How hard it is, how bad it is. I got to dredge up all this past. And look, it don't have to be all negative that you bring up. We talk about it all the time. Keep it balanced, one.
Right. But today, when I was sharing the 4-step in my process group, it was the part where my part in that, because a couple guys who had been doing AA before and relapsed and come back were like, what's this my part thing? And I was, I think the point I was getting to them, because the particular one that I had shared with them, my part was not guilty. And I want to, the 4-step can help you recognize the fact that you're not to blame for everything. We take the blame a lot of times because we just think it's the easy way out, or we hold responsibility for something probably because, a lot to do with our codependency. We got to do it because somebody else isn't doing it, things like that. And I think the 4-step, the way I did it wasn't just doing the positive part of it, but looking at the negative and realizing that you're not to blame for everything that went wrong in your life. There was times in there that you were not guilty when things happened. Character defects came to you because of an incident that you were not guilty of.
Yep.
So I was letting them know this is what makes this so freeing. This step is when you come to recognize these things here.
So I know we never laid it out really. In the 4-step, we have columns. And I know even in the secular world, we did the same thing. We had those columns.
Yeah.
So the person or event, the cause, the effect, the damage, and then my part.
Right. And then the character defects or assets.
Well, yeah, and but that's all under my part.
Yeah. Okay.
So my part, you list your character defects, your character assets, and what your role was. We could only own what our role was anyway. Because if we start owning somebody else's, now they can't have recovery from it because we're stealing theirs, right? So we got to make sure that we're only owning up to ours. We're not owning somebody else's, and we're owning our part only. But yeah, that's where we listed character defects. But when you go through it, the cause would be the events and incidences that happen, the effect, the feelings, the emotions, my belief system, shame, guilt, inadequacies, damage, what losses, broken relationships, financial, fear and intimacy and distrust. And then when you get into my part, that's when you get into character defects, choices, addictions, behaviors, compulsions, attitudes, and who are the people that I hurt because of those things. And so it's all laid out for us, and it's such an easy roadmap. It's not hard. I mean, does it suck bringing up the past? Yeah, but I know I'm getting ready to do something about it.
Yeah.
I can't change it, but I'm going to do something about it because I'm going to change the character defects that came out of all that past crap.
Bringing it up helps you learn from it, helps you identify where you're at.
As you see growth.
It sucks, but at the same time, that's where true growth happens, is when you're uncomfortable.
Not just that, like I say, in the roadmap to the character defects, when you see that this character defect came from this situation, you see that character defect that you did to someone else or had used at another time that you had to work on as well.
Yeah, and then next month we'll talk about replacing them and how to replace them. But
so next month we're sharing them. Nope, that's 2 months from now. Anyway.
He's new in the steps, guys. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, no.
But the nice thing is we could put 6 and 7 in the same month.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
8 and 9 in the same month.
When I went through, it was 6 and 7 together.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on 6, going through 6, and I think we might spend a little bit more time on 6, but we're doing 6 and 7 together. So
What does that list look like?
What's that now?
So what does that list look like?
Of my step 4?
Step 6.
Oh, step 6?
Ain't that what it's?
Yeah.
Make a list of your character. You got to make a list of them, right? That's what I'm saying. What's your list look like right now? I'm messing with you. I don't
It's
want
you're
to.
very, very
identifying.
full.
It's very full.
Yeah.
So where does that list of character defects come from?
Step 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, your list is already made for you. Now it's humbly asking God to remove them, right?
Right.
Identify them and make sure that you've got them all written down.
Drop the rock.
Yeah. Hey, look, I hand that book out to everybody.
Everybody. I love that book, man.
And it's on Audible for those of y'all that don't read.
Yeah. I mean, and that is a great book to help you. And we'll talk about it, I guess, next month.
Yeah.
Break down, drop the rock.
2 months. Drop the rock, step 6 and 7.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's next month.
No, this is
5 is next month.
We should be doing 4 and 5 together anyway.
probably. So why not? Let's go ahead and start moving into step 5 here. So why do we share our 4th step with somebody?
Well, hang on. We'll get to that.
Oh, man,
What are some character defects? Because a lot of people won't know
Yeah.
what a character
True.
defect is.
So, coming from the AA side, okay, defects of character are defined as uncharacteristic reactions to life's difficulties, such as fear, envy, pride, resentment, and jealousy. The Big Book of AA states that these defects are the root cause of most problems with alcohol or other drugs. These defects can manifest in many forms, such as difficulty controlling emotions, impulsivity, and a lack of self-esteem. They can be challenging to recognize and address. However, they are essential in living a life free from the grips of addiction. A list of defects of character in AA. They include resentment, anger, fear, cowardice, self-pity, self-justification, self-importance, egotism, self-condemnation, guilt, lying, evasiveness, dishonesty, impatience, hate, insincerity, perfectionism, and intolerance. That last one I can't stand.
What about
Perfectionism. I'm a perfectionist. I can't stand it. One of the big things I hope people understand is just because you exhibit a character defect does not make you inherently bad or wrong.
No, that it don't.
What's the term? What's the other term they use in AA?
There's a lot. Which one?
What I mean for character defects, shortcomings.
Shortcomings.
Yeah, and it says that in each fellowship about shortcomings.
CCR?
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing it.
yeah. It's a polite way of saying it, maybe a character defect.
Yeah.
Shortcomings. That sounds a little more harsh to me than character defect.
I don't know.
I feel like
You got an opposite of a character
I
defect.
feel like
you
it's
got a
easier.
character asset.
Yeah, but at
What do
the
you
same
have
time,
for? What do you have for a
a
shortcoming?
defect is direct. Shortcoming
Ongoing?
is you are naive to the fact.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, you know something is wrong, but you don't know what it is. Or you're exhibiting some things and you just don't know what they are.
Like a number 4 in a dimension 5.
Yeah. Why?
Put that one out.
Counselor
Like,
jargon.
there you go. Anyway, so
What was the hardest part of the 4th step for you?
doing it.
What do you mean?
That's
I
broad.
didn't. Well, I didn't want to do it. I mean, laziness, I guess. I don't know. I did it. Pride. Honestly, it was all about that pride because I truly did not think there was that much wrong with me that I truly needed to do a 4th step. So it took me 4 years in my recovery to actually do a 4th step for real. And now that I've done it, this is how you do it. This is how you should do it. It works. Trust me. Let me tell you.
Right.
You know.
So then, since you had let your pride get in the way, took 4 years to do it. Once you sat down to do it, how hard was it?
Honestly, it took me a night of prayer before I actually started my 4th step.
Okay.
But once I started doing it, it just started working.
That's what I mean. So once you started writing, once a pen went to paper, how was it?
It was fine after that because that's when
So once the anxiety's gone and the worry, the fear, all those things are now out of the way and you started writing,
I just kept writing.
how hard was it?
It wasn't hard. And I had a good pen. I had a good book. So that kind of went together, Yes, I'm the kind of guy that had to have a $100 pen and a $50 notebook to sit there and do my 4th step. If that's who you are, go ahead. It's okay. It's allowed.
If you got the money, do it.
You
I
know.
mean, look, to me, if you're going to write with a good instrument. Grab a tactile turn pen, sit down,
Yes.
and write out your 4th step. There's nothing better.
I wish I would have had a tactile notebook
Yeah.
doing it too. That would have been awesome.
I wish we all had a tactile
Right.
turn notebook.
Wink.
That'd be nice. Come on, hurry up.
What's up, buddy?
Well, get them out. Get them out. How about for you, Mike? Because now if you're on step 6 and 7, you obviously just wrote out your 4th step. How was it?
So we took a break after 5. We took a break. Once I talked to my sponsor, we took a little bit of time off, and I did my 4-step probably like, I'm not going to lie, probably like 5-6 months ago. It's hard. It was hard for me to identify the things that I wanted to tell another man. I did more with you and Christina in the impact statement than I did with my sponsor, and that's one of those things that, that's why I said, Jeff, my sponsor, I was like, I really want to get back into it because I really want to, go through them and then start all over again. Right. A whole nother year removed from beginning them with my sponsor. That time it was really being honest with myself, pride getting in the way of it, and fear getting in the way of it. Because I had already done it once before, but I never did it the way my sponsor did it. And it was funny because I didn't write a whole lot down, the first time when I was with him. I wrote maybe 5 or 6. And he goes, yeah, those are good. Write some more, and so I really had to rack my brain, to find out those things. And now over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, getting more involved in my, in my faith and getting back into it, it's like there's a lot more there that I really need to divulge, But once you do it, like once I started, it wasn't hard, because I had somebody guiding me through it. Yeah, I mean, it's uncomfortable.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was uncomfortable for the fact that the things that I told him and then the things that I talk with you guys, I'd never told anybody. And then it was that fear of, okay, am I going to be judged? Are they going to think lesser of me? All that stuff, right? And I knew I wasn't going to, but it's that innate, like, what if, right?
You didn't really know me yet when you shared your impact statement.
I didn't.
I mean, that was huge for you to say, hey, let's have Shane come out there and share it on the deck. I remember it pretty well. We didn't really know each other too well.
No, we conversed a couple of times, few times maybe.
And so to share the stuff that you did from the impact statement, to me, right now, the 4-step should have been just a cakewalk.
Yeah, I did the 4-step, and then I did the impact statement.
Okay.
So that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to get back.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
See, and for me, my 4-step was a cakewalk. And the reason is I knew I was a horrible person back then. And I destroyed everything that was in my way. Now, the thing that I did is I tried to own everything. And my sponsor made me rewrite it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm always big on don't own other people's stuff.
Yeah.
So
he had me rewrite it because I was owning other people's parts in it. But I already knew how bad of a person I was. I'm like, I don't mind the 4-step. The 4-steps are going to be a breeze. I already know I was a POS, is what I would say. I was worried about the 9th step. That's what I was worried about. I could have cared less about the 4-step. I'm like, man, how am I going to find enough paper to list all the people I've harmed? I don't know if they made them enough paper. No. So that's what I was afraid of. I was just afraid of the 9th step. The 4-step was a cakewalk. I was not afraid to dig in at all. And that's probably why I view it so differently.
Yeah.
So I know we've gotten on here and we talked a couple of times where we've had situations where I guess we were, I don't want to say confronted because that's not exactly how it was, but, we sat down in love and we shared with each other. It wasn't until that actually had come upon my situation that I actually did a 4-step.
Yeah.
And it actually made it easier to do because having to surrender like I did, I knew there was only one way to truly do this, and that was to actually go through with it all. And that, if I remember correctly, that's how that happened. And that it was when they came at me, it was like, dude, you need to chill, And it's just like, whatever,
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. I was just like, oh, you're right.
I don't have to do anything.
You were at first.
Well, of course, man, because, I'm a man, I got to stand up for mine. and but like, I actually felt it in me when it happened because it was just like, I just crushed. And I was like, all right, you're right. And that's when it was like, I knew that's when I had to do that 4-step to do it right.
Yeah.
Because there was something taking me back to that old ways almost,
Yeah.
I wasn't using, but there was still that addictive behavior.
100%.
And that's what I had to, check on.
Man, those things come back quick.
Ooh, man.
Worse than before.
Yeah, and
it's weird because you can't suppress them anymore because you don't have a substance to suppress them. That's why they come back worse. They came back worse for me because I didn't have anything to forget them or to subdue them. I had to be in it.
Yeah, no, denial is a terrible thing. Like once you've been in recovery for a while,
yeah,
that denial could creep in, and it's not as easy to see for us all the time, you know, and we think that we're doing well, and we're not. It's a sad thing. I don't care if you're 10 years in, 15 years in, 20 years in, it happened in a heartbeat.
If you stop doing the things that got you here, you're going to go back to doing the things that brought you where you were.
Yep.
That's it.
I mean, that's
Plain and simple.
basics, man. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's why I'm glad God gave me that message.
Right?
Quit doing the things that got you here. You go back to doing the things that brought you here.
Mm-hmm.
And that really stinks.
Yeah.
So let's move into the question that you asked a minute ago, Derek.
What's that?
Why do we need to share our inventory with God and with another person and with ourselves, really? I mean, we already know what we did. God knows what we did. So why do we need to share it with God and another person?
That's a good question. Makes it more real. You have someone that holds you accountable for your actions because you were a certain way, and when they gives them the right to call you out when them like, okay, well, kind of like in my situation when I got called out on my attitude and stuff. You know, if you're sharing those different 4 steps and you're sharing them character defects with somebody, they see that, and when that starts coming around, they see that addictive behavior coming. They be like, "Hey, yo, are you good?" You know, type thing. So I think that's one of the good reasons why we share it. And sharing with God is just because, well, we're trying to get forgiveness for the crap we pulled in the first place. So,
But don't God already know?
oh, he know. He loves to hear us talk to him, man. It's funny. You ever think he giggles at us?
I don't know if he giggles. I think he just
giggles.
straight out just boast out laughing.
Yeah, that's so true.
This big idiot. What's
Yeah.
he
He
thinking?
thought he was hiding that from me, right?
He's getting all the apostles like, hey, check this out. Watch what.
Hey, Gabrielle, did you see this?
I told you he was going to do it. I told you.
Yo, Jesus. Is your boy down here?
Think about Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
Hiding. Come on, man. We can't hide from them. But yeah, I would say it's a confession. Confessing it, it gets it out. It humbles us. There's nothing more humbling than,
Having to share your issues with another guy?
yeah.
Yeah. That really makes things more vulnerable and stuff.
I think the reason we do it is just to let go. That was my biggest thing. I just needed to tell somebody. I needed to get all of this stuff off my chest.
Confessing it.
The
getting it
stuff
out.
that like was just like, you know. And it's funny because after I said it, and I'm not lying here when I say this, like after I said it and I talked about, you know, the abuse and all my defects and the thoughts that came from that, once I shared it, I stopped thinking about it.
Did you?
I really, really did, because it was finally like, okay, cool, it's out in the open. It doesn't control me anymore. And that's why I tell, you know, all the clients that we work with, it's like the more you talk about your issues, the less power it's going to have over you. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, guys, what I'm saying is just be honest and open, get it off your chest, because it worked for me and it's going to work for you.
Yeah, and I loved writing it. Writing it,
Right.
it became real.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what makes sense that 4 and 5 are the way they are, because one, you write it out on step 4, and then in step 5, you get it off your chest even more by sharing it, you know, making the confession to somebody else.
So, therefore, confess your James 5:16. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be.
healed. Yes. Love that one.
Yeah, I mean, once we confess it, we don't have to dwell on it. But that was a good thing about writing it too. I didn't have to dwell on it.
And that's been like my big thing since I've been back in the counseling position. Is I got people writing letters after letters after letters, and they're just like, dude, I'd never thought about that. Well, of course not, but this is why you're here now. You know, this is your 3rd time in a place. Try this one out, see how this works for you.
I wish people would understand what writing does for your brain.
Oh, it's therapeutic. There's nothing more exciting than when you're having a family session with you know, on Zoom session, got this guy's family with me, and we're talking, and they're asking him, is he journaling? And I've never shared this with the family. And they're asking him, is he journaling? He looks at me and goes, did you talk to them? I'm like, no, I ain't said a word to him. But I guess a couple of the other, his brothers or his sisters had issues, and they were told to journal and stuff like that. And he just thought it was everything. I was like, dude, if they're telling you, and I've been telling you,
Might
give
want
it
to
a
try
shot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And And then I had another guy come in today, and he's like, "Dude, I've been to 6 places already. You know, I might as well just leave. There's no reason for me to be here. I'm not going to learn something. Have a seat. You know,
Yeah.
let's talk about this." They ended up breaking down, tearing in my thing, and he's got a stack of homework to do now. So
Homework is good.
yeah,
Homework is good and writing is good.
I'm always teaching pen to paper now, and it's really been the biggest comeback positive in my cases is that people are like, "Dude, I feel so much better." Why is that? I don't know. You know, especially when they write a upsetting letter to a family member that they haven't talked to in years, and then they get to light it on fire. They love that part.
I prefer them to read it to an empty chair and then keep it. You don't have to give it to them, but there's something about that. You might want to go to it later and check it out, right? And so I like having that whenever you're writing a letter to a family member, that even if you're not going to give it to them. I did that at the last church I was appointed to. I had someone come in and I had her write a letter to her best friend. You want to talk about a person that's never worked a day of recovery in their life. But we made her work a little bit of a 4-step and then wrote this letter to her. And that was the most freeing experience. But I'm like, hold on to this, you know, but we put a chair in the middle of the floor and she got to just spill it to the chair. And it worked well. I just like them to keep that just in case. But there's freedom in lighting it on fire for some people. Some people put it in a balloon and tie it to a balloon and let it go. Or
there's the ones that do just seal it up in an envelope and never look at it again. It's what works for you. Works for you, but I'm telling you, pen to paper.
Yeah, pen to paper is where it's at.
Yeah.
What are you looking up there, Mike? You know what, man?
Some
you
scripture.
shared how you were doing this week. I shared how I was doing this week.
You're right. He does tend to do that too. He just goes straight into the conversation. How's your soul?
It is. And the bad thing is I can't say that it's bad. It's just great. Tuesdays come really quick in my week, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happened last night, and I'm thinking Derek's teaching this upcoming Tuesday. He's teaching on hope. And I got to get ready for next Tuesday already. So these Tuesdays come really quick, but it keeps my soul just filled because I get wrecked at worship. And no, we don't have a live band, but you know what? Don't have to have a live band. I mean, it's just the spirit is there. It's moving. I see a change in myself. I see a change in the people around me, my family. And heck, I cut grass for the first time in I don't know how many years yesterday.
Ever.
I mean, I used to cut it back in the day, but I haven't cut grass ever since I lived here. I had a service come and do it. But
I broke out in small group last night. I was like, oh, thank you. When he said he cut his grass. I'm like, it was rough, dude.
I was waiting for that lawnmower sale that never happened. So
Yeah, it's springtime. What happened there, sir? You know who we're talking to.
yeah, I mean, I was supposed to have a spring Black Friday, and they didn't have any good sales. But man, my soul has been good. I needed Celebrate Recovery back into life, like a full time. Hey, this is, I have to be there. I get to be there. Just something about it. Something about it. Getting ready to do a wedding here later on this month. Those always fill the soul. And then we did some planning today for Celebrate Recovery, which fills me up. But we did forget to plan baptisms. I got a couple of people asking about reaffirming faith and being baptized. And I'm like, oh, man, we're going to have I hope they're ready for a big splash.
I know I'm doing it.
There's nothing better. So,
What?
yeah.
You getting baptized?
I was once, but I think I need to again.
Why? Just kidding, man. I'm just.
Well, yeah, we reaffirmed
Pastor,
that
I think
faith.
you know this, the reaffirmation of faith.
Yeah.
I got one. James 1:22.
Uh-oh.
Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
Lamentations 3:40, let us examine our ways and test them, and let us return to the Lord. All those go with that 4-step pretty well.
I don't have one right now.
So I guess, Mikey, before we close, besides that scripture, man, what do you got for people on this 4-step, 5th step?
4-step, 5th step. Just do it.
Nike it, huh?
Nike it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you will feel validated once you talk to another person about it. Because a lot of times, if you share it with someone, hopefully a sponsor, odds are they have been through or they know someone or they've had experience with exactly what you're going through. There's a lot of wisdom in sponsorship, and I am grateful that I have a good sponsor who, and he even says, I haven't gone through all the things you have, but I've gone through some things, and there's lessons in everything. And just because one thing happened to one person and not the other doesn't mean that there's not a lesson to be learned. So get it done. Do it.
Amen to that.
Free yourself. Free yourself from all of it.
D.
Yeah, man. I'm free. I know we discussed last week, how freeing the 4-step was, and I myself did not recognize how freeing it actually was, so I had pointed it out to others. It's a lot more freeing that you guys really, don't be afraid to do it. Get in there. Like I've shared before, my thing is start off light and work to the heavier weight, like you're in the gym. And it seems to flow out a lot easier once you get started. Just get past that barrier that's holding you back. Whatever it is that's stopping you, the pride, the arrogance, whatever it is, man. Once you get past that barrier, that pen hits that paper, the truth starts coming out. And you start digging in and finding out all those issues. That's, again, the roadmap to the character defects that you take care of in the later steps. And stuff start coming out, and you start seeing the different things that you had did because of those character defects, which all related back to this one episode. Or it actually, you see this, you had this character defect as you did this situation, which came from another episode, and you wouldn't have done this if this didn't happen. And you start digging deeper into your whole 4-step thing.
And a lot of it started with something that we had no part in.
Right. And that's what I want people really to recognize, their part in it. A lot of times, we blame ourselves for everything that could go wrong and stuff. And a lot of times, we're not to blame. Our part in it was we were not guilty, but it happened to us. It caused this character defect, and this character defect did this to this person. And that's what we got to start recognizing. Own up to our parts, but at the same time, recognize we're not always the guilty party.
And we're just not bad.
All the time.
We have some good in us, no matter what.
Yes.
So keep it balanced. Don't take yourself down a rabbit hole that you don't need to. Best bet is to always share with a sponsor, but you could share with a pastor. You could share with a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there that will listen to a 4-step, even if you don't have someone that you trust wholeheartedly. Find somebody that you do trust and share that 4-step with them, because there's really nothing more freeing between writing it, and then once you're done writing it, get to confess it, and then you get to put it away. I mean, you don't have to dwell on that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want your first step to healing, do a 4-step. Because the moment you get to put not guilty on a piece of paper, that is a pretty rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Those of us sitting in this room, when we got to write that not guilty, I don't know if Mike, your sponsor, had you do it.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get to put not guilty on something that happened to you that you thought you were guilty for.
Yeah.
You want to talk about freeing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is the most freeing experience. When I wrote not guilty to the sexual abuse that I owned for so many years, it was like a whole new person just came through. So get honest. I mean, Get honest. And if you're not guilty for it, don't own somebody else's stuff. Only own yours. Look, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
And I promise you won't.
You won't regret it.
Not at all.
And you know what? Why not?
If you do it and you hate it, we'll refund your misery.
Refund your misery tenfold.
Yeah,
So,
I mean-
guys, we appreciate you guys watching. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on all podcast platforms at the Awake and Sober Podcast. Thanks again to Tactile Turn, our sponsor. And for everybody here at Awake and Sober, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.